I decided I'm going to show you how to make 3 homemade sauces using condiments or spices that you already have in your pantry. Here are some of the ingredients that you're going to need. All of these are condiments that I guarantee you already have. Ketchup, sriracha, mayonnaise, you can use chili sauce, hot sauce, cayenne, mustard, Worcestershire, honey, some dry spices, lemon, sour cream, or plain yogurt, some vinegar. It is all about just learning a way to combine all of those to make something so amazing. Okay, the first sauce that I'm going to make is homemade comeback sauce. These are the ingredients that you're gonna need. Mayonnaise, ketchup, Dijon, chili sauce. So they are calling for Heinz chili sauce in the recipe. I don't have that, so I'm using sriracha. Lemon juice, a fresh garlic clove, onion powder, ground mustard, smoked paprika, Worcestershire, hot sauce, salt, and pepper. Did you get all that? It's okay if you didn't. I'm going to include a swipe up link for all 3 of these sauces for you to use after you watch the video, so it's a written recipe that you can easily come back and follow. Okay, mayonnaise first. Y'all know my love affair with Duke's mayonnaise. It is the best mayonnaise, but if you have another brand, that is totally fine too. I'm starting with a 1/2 cup. So the recipes that I'm gonna be linking to are the full recipes, but I'm cutting all the recipes in half because we just have 3 people here, me, my mom, and my dad. We can't get through all of these, so I am going to cut everything in half so I don't waste food. The recipe calls for Heinz chili sauce. I don't have it, so I'm gonna use sriracha. And the recipe also does not call for ketchup, but I think chili sauce is kind of like a mixture of sriracha and ketchup, so that's what I'm gonna do. 1 tablespoon of sriracha and 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Next up, lemon juice. Y'all know my trick. Squeeze it, use your fingers to get rid of the seeds. For this one, we need smoked paprika, onion powder, dry mustard, black pepper, and salt. Now that I've measured my dry ingredients, I can use the same measuring spoon to measure my wet ingredients. Need 1/2 teaspoon of hot sauce and a teaspoon of Worcestershire. Y'all, Worcestershire, if you don't have it in your pantry or your fridge, get it as soon as you can. I know you might not can go to the grocery store now, but as soon as you can, Worcestershire. It is the secret ingredient to almost everything that I cook. I don't know how you correctly pronounce it. I've always said Worcestershire. Some people are Worcestershire. I don't say it that way. Worcestershire. So I lied earlier, I don't need Dijon. This is for my honey mustard and maybe my white barbecue sauce. I don't know. Regardless, when I said that earlier that I needed Dijon, I didn't. I used the dry mustard instead. If you don't have dry mustard though, a little squeeze of this will work just as fine. The last ingredient I need, it says a grated small garlic clove. So this is the size garlic clove that I have. It's medium-ish, maybe on the large side. I'm just gonna use part of it. When a recipe calls for a grated garlic clove, I don't know if y'all know how to use like fresh garlic, so this is how you do it. It's all in this paper wrapping, and I'm going to smash it with a big chef's knife like this. Use force. That basically gets all of the paper off, and if you're going to chop it, it would, you know, kind of start the chopping process for you. And then my favorite kitchen tool, microplane, I'm just going to run the garlic over it. And that's how you do grated garlic. So easy. That is it. Whisk it up and you have comeback sauce. Next sauce on the list, Alabama white barbecue sauce. All right, Alabama white sauce. Mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, garlic powder, onion powder, hot sauce, Worcestershire, salt, and pepper. Alabama white sauce. This is one of my absolute favorite condiments. I put it on everything. It is so delicious. Y'all. Starts with a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, or a cup if you're making the full recipe. Next up, apple cider vinegar and some tap water. This is just helping you get it to a thin consistency. A lot of mayonnaise-based sauces are a little bit thicker, but white barbecue sauce tends to be on the very runny side, which is so delicious. Also, a little side note, if you don't have apple cider vinegar, regular like white distilled vinegar is fine, or like white wine vinegar, kind of whatever you have on hand, but apple cider is great. Next, Worcestershire, my favorite condiment, or sauce, a lot of it. Salt, I like kosher. Black pepper, this is like a black pepper blend that my parents keep on hand. Garlic powder and onion powder. And then going in with my wet 1/4 teaspoon of hot sauce. I didn't even press record on that last thing. Y'all know my favorite hot sauce is Cholula with the girl or the man, whoever, you know, I don't know, someone. You can use Louisiana, you can use Crystal, you can use Tabasco, you can use Texas Pete, Frank's, whatever your favorite hot sauce is, you can use any of them. Next step, whisk her up. You can see how runny this stuff is. That's the consistency that you're looking for. This is not a thick mayonnaise-based sauce. Okay, homemade honey mustard ingredients. Sour cream or plain whole milk yogurt, mayonnaise, Duke's obviously, salt, Dijon mustard, cayenne pepper, and then honey. My dad has bees, so this is honey from his hives. I have my mayonnaise and yogurt in my bowl already, and then I'm gonna add my Dijon mustard. You might ask why, or could you use yellow mustard or like coarse grain mustard or something? You definitely could. I think like classic honey mustards though use Dijon mustard and not yellow mustard. That's just like a little bit too tangy to me. Dijon has that like classic mustard-y flavor, like real mustard, not yellow prepared mustard. Anyway, use whatever you want, but Dijon is my personal favorite. Dry ingredients first. My smallest measuring spoon is a 1/4 teaspoon. I really only need 1/8 of a teaspoon, so half of the salt. Cayenne says 1/8 of a teaspoon, so I'm literally going in with like a pinch. One ingredient I forgot to mention, olive oil. I wanted to use canola oil because it's a little bit more neutral flavor. And in the honey mustard, I'm going for like classic and super creamy and smooth. Olive oil would be good, but I like canola oil and I prefer it. You can use your oil of choice. I'm gonna go in with 1 tablespoon. Oops. Spilled over, so I have some left in here, but I'm just gonna pour it out. Next up, I need to measure my honey. Y'all know my trick about spraying the measuring spoon with Pam or cooking spray to keep the honey from sticking. I forgot to bring the Pam out to the pool house, so what I did was just put a tiny bit of the oil in it, rub it around with my finger so that it coats it, and then I can measure my honey. The original recipe calls for a teaspoon of honey. I personally don't think that that is enough, so I am doubling that even though this recipe is halved. So I think for the original recipe, I would go with at least a tablespoon. I used a 1/2 tablespoon in here. All right, boomerang time, gotta whisk this up.